Hello everyone, welcome back to Shengye China here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the subject of Foreign Minister Wang Yi of China going to be chairing the UNSC meeting, which is the United Nations Security Council, on February 18th of 2025 in New York. So the main topics I want to talk to y'all about is, number one, about why China is able to chair this board. The topic I want to talk to you about are what are the missions, what are the important things that are going to be dealt with at this meeting, and what are going to be the important points of China being represented by Foreign Minister Wang Yi, what everybody's going to be talking about. I think one of the ways that we can start off this video is by talking about some of the points that were spoken by Mr. Wang Yi, the Foreign Minister of China, back in, I believe it was September, the last time that he was at the United Nations, back in September of 2024. Last time he talked about the Palestine issue, talking about how Palestine is the biggest wound to the human conscience. Basically talking about the unfair treatment of the Palestinians and everything that's going wrong over there. And talking about how the ongoing conflict in Gaza is causing more casualties with each passing day. He's saying that he's talking about all the fighting that's going on, talking about how terrible it is and how many lives are being taken and it shouldn't be happening. So I think that's one way that can show you about like how China's been fighting for justice. Mr. Wang Yi is fighting for justice as well. And I mean, everybody wants to talk about China being a global leader. I mean, of course. I mean, China's going to be solving these issues, something that the United States is not doing. I mean, China has not started any new wars. So, I mean, it's common sense. Also, Wang Yi was talking about how the sanctions and pressure from like these monopolistic advantages are unfair to the world. I mean, they're not only doing it against China. I mean, they're doing it against Russia. I mean, Iran, Venezuela. I mean, they're doing it to countries all over the world. They're not only just targeting one; they're targeting everybody. So, I mean, it's completely unfair. I mean, they'll even be going against their own friends like Canada, Europe, Mexico. So I mean, it's crazy the things that are going on. It's completely unfair, and I think it's great to have Foreign Minister Wang Yi to come out and highlight these things. So those are some like the key points. Oh, another thing that I want to add on is that last time, like whenever he was there, he made a peace group. One of the other parties attending was also Brazil, joining in that peace group with Foreign Minister Wang Yi, which I find to be a big deal. Also, here's a picture of Mr. Wang Yi last time he was there at the United Nations. I believe this is the 79th anniversary that he was going to attend at the time. Foreign Minister Wang Yi is very serious whenever he talks about anything. Something that's actually kind of funny is that he actually has the same birthday as me, so he was born on the same day as me. But Wang Yi is very serious whenever talking about these issues. And one of the main things that he's going to talk about whenever he's here, he's going to talk about the renegade province of Taiwan. He's going to talk about how the United States needs to uphold the agreement that they had, and needs to uphold what the United Nations holds about this one China policy. The one China policy is something that cannot be broken. And the United States always likes to reach over that policy by selling weapons to the renegade province of Taiwan, always advocating for Taiwanese independence. Although, whenever they're asked by reporters, they'll say, we will not support Taiwanese independence. But the way that they're acting is doing more than just supporting. They're trying to cause a civil war. I mean, they're trying to cause a war here. I mean, that's crazy. And then they're trying to push the blame over to China. I mean, it's unethical. Ethically, it's wrong as well. It's terrible. Here's one of the things that Mr. Wang Yi said last time at the 79th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. He just said, "Not throwing gas on the fire." I mean, that's one of the things that the United States has been doing. It's just throwing gas on the fire and basically just making things worse than they already are. And that should not be happening. I think that the U.S. needs to have a wake-up call and learn that China is a global power as well. They need to learn from China and see like how China is dealing with a lot of these issues and understand, hey, China is not going to mess around. China is actually here to solve issues, and they have been having peace talks on the Palestine issue, whether it be the Russia-Ukraine issue. So, I mean, the Chinese are pushing out results, and I think that the U.S. should respect that. They should respect the one China policy. Like, for example, you see the United States is now talking about invading, let's say, Canada, or invading Mexico, or invading different places. I mean, China's only talking about solving the China unification process with the renegade province of Taiwan, and the United States is going crazy over that. Could you imagine if China were to send weapons over to Mexico or send weapons over to Canada and be like, all right, we're going to help defend Canada against the United States aggression? The United States would go crazy over that. I mean, the United States would want to start a nuclear war. So, I mean, there's a huge difference between both countries, how they work, how both systems work. And I think that the United States could learn a lot from China. Well, that's how I'm going to end off this video today, and I hope that y'all enjoyed. Like and subscribe and leave a comment on what I should do and talk about in the next video. Thank you. Have a good one.